Hey everyone, Mr. Mom Collectibles. I am back with another video, and today you're going to be watching the first in a multi-part series upload to my channel entitled 2023 in Review. The purpose of this is I have multiple topic ideas that I'm going to be filming videos and uploading to my channel daily that encompasses all my thoughts about 2023. The first video you're going to be watching is my top 5 favorite purchases from 2023. I took a figure and did a little mini showcase giving you the reasons why it made my top purchases. And just to be clear, number 1 is no different than number 5. It's not a ranking system. I just took 5 figures that I bought this year and why they made it into my top purchases. And do me a favor and drop a like on this video. And if this is your first time watching the channel, please consider subscribing. And more importantly, drop a comment below and let me know what your top 5 favorite purchases were from 2023. Was it all Hot Toys? Was it InArt, Jazz Inc.? What was it? Let me know in the comments below and what you think of my list. Now, more importantly, amongst all of that, is definitely you want to set the notifications on so you're alerted to new videos, because I have multiple videos that I'll be uploading throughout this week, such as the next one will be my top 5 disappointing purchases, along with my most favorite announcements from Hot Toys and other companies this year. So I have a lot of videos that I'm going to be filming and uploading, and you don't want to make sure you miss any of that stuff. So like I said, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. So let's jump into the list. Talk about when a figure came out, the community sure had something to say about it. And we're going to be looking at this next one, which is one of my favorite purchases of 2023, which is the RoboCop from RoboCop 3. This was a no-brainer for me. I do have the original RoboCop, which is, you see him over there, it's the original diecast one. But how often do you get another RoboCop? These 80 IPs come far few in between, and when Hot Toys dives into the vault and pulls one out, for me, I have to jump on it. This was a day one pre-order for me, so this is another RoboCop add to the collection. It's very unique with the jetpack and the multi-purpose gun there with the rocket shooting out. I know there's other people that have like the RoboCop in the chair, things like that passed on it. And I know when this came out, there was a lot of vocal uproar, I guess is a nice way of saying it, about this, because people were talking about the inaccuracies to the paint. I mean, you could see here in the video, I do have a purple light on in the background, so it might be throwing you off, but I did a review on this figure and I did a natural light comparison, and there definitely is blue purple hues to this that do make it accurate, but I think I did a pretty good job on my review, I think, and I'll link it above here so you can take a look at the daylight comparison of how he did fluctuate color throughout the movie. So although this is a RoboCop 3, even in part 2 he looked much bluish purple, and there's tints. Even on the original it has tints, but that I just didn't think that was enough of a deterrent for me. I love this figure so much. It's a contender for figure of the year, definitely. I'm putting it in. That's why when I did this list of figures, it's hard for me to say what my overall number 1 is. If I had to choose, this is definitely going to be up there in terms of my probably close to number 1. I just love the uniqueness of it with the jetpack. Yeah, RoboCop 3 sucked. A lot of people can agree it's the worst of the 3, but nevertheless, it is a RoboCop, and if it's your first one, you get the Peter Weller faceplate. I mean, come on, how great is that? So I know people are using this as their OG RoboCop, just stripping down all the accessories and just keeping them stock, which is nothing wrong with that. So I think this figure got a lot of hate for the wrong reasons, just because when this thing came out, people were kind of confused about the whole paint situation, and there was people even canceling orders over it. And that's kind of where I think the major birth of the whole tap out thing happened, where like I said, you can cancel figures because financial situation stuff, but to kind of make up excuses about this, I mean, come on, even the original RoboCop was being repainted by people. So to say that paint was an issue, I really thought that was kind of an excuse personally. It did come with a hefty price tag, but like I said, with the accessories, mine's all tricked out in RoboCop 3 version. That way he's different from the first one. I absolutely love this figure. I had so much fun playing, posing it up and putting all the accessories on it. The jetpack is so super detailed, as you can see here. It's such an amazing piece. And once again, like I said, if you were on the fence about it, the only question I ever had for people is how often is another RoboCop going to come on the market? You don't know. So for me, it was a no-brainer for me to grab it. And so another figure that is in my top 2023 purchases is going to be RoboCop Part 3. So another figure on my list of favorite purchases from 2023 is going to be something that I pre-ordered day one regardless of how the figure first turned out, and then Hot Toys went back and made some changes to it, and that is Peacemaker from the HBO show Peacemaker. I think I love this figure so much, and there's figures that you just kind of open up and you have just so much fun with it in terms of posing, unboxing, everything like that. And this is definitely one of those figures. It was very anticipated for me to come out. Now, originally, for those who had this or remember, it came out with only one sculpt version, and then also jointed elbows, which was very, for a lot of people, they didn't like that look. Regardless, it didn't turn me off from pre-ordering the figure. I pre-ordered it anyway, and then Hot Toys actually went back to the drawing board, as they do from time to time with figures, and they revamped it. They gave it a seamless body, as you can see here, which is fantastic, and they also gave you a neutral expression, and also this one here, which came with it with the tongue, which is magnetic. But it's funny enough, when I got this figure and I opened it up, and I was playing with it and, doing everything with it, I didn't think that I would be using this facial expression, to be honest with you. I really thought it was kind of goofy looking at the photos, but it absolutely fits the character. Now, obviously, the one thing about this when it came out and it was released was the whole gun issue, where a lot of collectors thought that the gun itself was permanently fixed to the holster. And it turns out that seemed to be just a shipping thing with Hot Toys. And, they weren't allowed to actually have the gun free. Obviously, they were kind of restricted, it seems. But Hot Toys definitely had a fall safe built into it, where they actually had like a pin inside the holster. You heat it up with a heat gun, it pops right out. And as you can see, the gun is completely available to be used, as it is here in the figure. Absolutely love this. This is the pose that it's been in since day one, with the gun drawn out and him holding the axe. But I love everything about it. And then you can see also Eagly there is in the background with the wings open. That's kind of right there between Harley Quinn and RoboCop is its current home, but I brought him out. I wanted to showcase him. But absolutely favorite figure. It was an awesome piece. I'm so glad I have this in the collection. Also, we don't know if we're going to get another Peacemaker. I mean, I know season 2's underway. They're going to be doing season 2 eventually. It's just we don't know what's in store with future DC IPs and figures and things like that. And so this may be your one and only chance at a Peacemaker. Who knows? So I'm so glad I have this in my collection. And also the likeness to John Cena is uncanny. So this is one of my favorite purchases of 2023, which is Peacemaker. Another figure which is in my top purchases of 2023 is the Iron Man Mark III from Iron Man. Now, those who know me, Iron Man is my favorite Marvel movie, and the Iron Man Mark III suit is my all-time favorite armor. It just is such a great balance between the gold and the red. I love the uniqueness of it. It's still one of the best armors to date, I think, personally. I did at one point have the quarter scale version of this, but I ended up actually selling it about 2 years ago. So I was always hoping to get another Mark III in my collection. And when Hot Toys announced this 2.0, it was a day one pre-order, no ifs, ands, or buts. I was getting this figure. And like I said, it's the head sculpt to Robert Downey Jr. I think is outstanding. I think the only thing that rivals this now is the new Mark VI quarter scale. But for a 6 scale, I think this is one of the best head sculpts for Robert Downey Jr. that I've seen. This is the pose that I pretty much have him in on my collection. It's him standing on top of the Ironmonger base with his helmet there in the corner. This particular base did have the issue where the Ironmonger wasn't fitting properly to the base, so heat gun treatment kind of softened up the plastic, got it to fit no problem. And like I said, the pose that you see with one leg up and one leg off the display base is how I currently have him. I may put him in a flight pose eventually, but I'm in the process of reworking my Iron Man collection, where I'm going to go towards more of a Hall of Armor. So until then, and I also love the scene when he shoots a little wrist rocket for the first time, as you see there. So that's kind of the pose that I have. I may eventually put him in a flying pose when I revamp my my shelf, because I have an Iron Man only shelf. But as a fan, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, it was just such an amazing experience. I was gonna actually film an unboxing video of this, but when I started opening up the figure for my pre-inspection prior to actually doing it, I just got so engulfed in the experience that I kind of felt like this one's for me, as Iron Man said in the movie when he, trying to keep the arc reactor to himself. He said, "This one's staying with me." that's how this was. I didn't want to rush an unboxing for the sake of filming something. I wanted to enjoy my time. I mean, I spent over an hour unboxing this, putting it together, playing with all the swap out pieces, posing it and stuff like that. So this is something that I just really, truly enjoyed the unboxing experience, and wouldn't have had it any other way. I think the base is awesome. In the future, I'm not sure if I'll use the Ironmonger base, but for right now, it's my favorite armor, so I wanted to display it with all of the accessories. The Ironmonger base looks awesome. All the detail in here, as you can see. I mean, this is a home run. I mean, I know people are going to get kind of, oh, another Iron Man, but if you didn't get this armor, I mean, this was your chance, and Hot Toys thankfully brought this back out and gave it the 2.0 treatment, updated the height on it, definitely updated some accuracies on the suit. There's just not enough that I can actually say about this figure. So this is easily in my top purchases of 2023, which is the Iron Man Mark III from Iron Man. Now, how do I do a top purchases of 2023 without including this one? This is the WB 100 Wonder Woman. Now, I did a review on this a couple of months back, probably about 4 months ago or so. I'll link that in the video above. And first and foremost, you can see the figure pretty much is exactly how it was left in the video, in the review. There's been nothing done to it, no updated treatment. I haven't combed the hair, haven't touched the hair at all. Behind me is my DC shelf, and as you can see right behind, right here, I'll zoom in so you guys can see, that's where she resides. Her stand and her display, that's where she is. And I currently have 2 other Wonder Womans in the collection. There's the Golden Armor, and there is in their Justice League lineup the 84 Wonder Woman. And I said this before, I consider this the greatest hits. Not a lot of original stuff put into this. They pretty much took the best of the previous Wonder Womans and made a Frankenstein version where she's the culmination of all the best pieces put together. And in my opinion, it's the best Wonder Woman on the market. It really is. And then you also got the wool-rooted hair, which I consider this like the prototype that birthed the Artisan series, because this is not an Artisan figure. It's a WB 100 exclusive, so it's not considered under the Artisan line. And not too soon after this, I think the next month after she was announced and released, we got the Artisan series, the Joker and the Anakin Skywalker. So this is a interesting piece of Hot Toys history that, in my opinion, it's kind of like the prototype, like I said, going into the Artisan series. We don't have those figures in hand to see what they ultimately end up being. But for me, I'm so happy that I got this figure. I am a huge Gal Gadot Wonder Woman fan. I love everything about this character. I love everything that it had, I love everything about it. And so when this got announced by Hot Toys, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. I had to have it in the collection. It's a unique piece for me to have in the collection. Like I said, with the rooted wool hair, everything like that, it's fantastic. I have no complaints about this figure whatsoever, and the condition, it's been holding up. No maintenance needed, nothing like that whatsoever. So my next top purchase of 2023 is the WB 100 Wonder Woman. All right, guys, so the final figure that made it into my top 5 figures of the year is none other than the comic book Spider-Man. Why? Well, I just put my review out for this, so you guys can check that out. I'll link that here. Why did this make it into the top 5? Is it because it's an exclusive? No. Is it because I got it day one? No. I'm not trying to justify my purchase by any means. It's basically the explanation that I gave at the end of my review. Don't really want to spoil it, but I will. It's about what this figure symbolizes. Okay? We all collect Hot Toys for our own reasons. They make great, figures, character representation. There's no wrong answer. But for me, this specific figure is there's very few that symbolize your childhood. Okay, I've been collecting since I can remember. It started with Legos when I was young, and even when McFarlane, then I moved in when I was a teenager, when McFarlane made those sports, MLB, NBA, when he was making a whole sports line of sports athletes. I was collecting those, going to Toys R Us, finding those in the shelves and collecting all those. So I've been collecting since I can remember.
And when I was a kid, my grandmother bought me all of the little, all the Spider-Man, the Kenner figures from the cartoon show, the 90s cartoon show. And now that I'm collecting Hot Toys, there's not that many figures that come along that literally encapsulate your childhood. You got over here, you got RoboCop, 89 Batman, Back to the Future, and this is Spider-Man from the 90s. It's an interpretation from the 90s cartoon and also the comic book. But when I saw this, had to have it. It meant so much to me. It does mean so much to me. This is a figure that I absolutely love. I do have other Spider-Man figures, but this holds certain meaning to me just because, like I said, it reminds me of being a kid and my grandmother buying me the figures to play with, playing with them outside, inside, carried them with me everywhere I went. And so to have a interpretation of this character made by Hot Toys, this means so much to me. This is a figure that means a lot. It really does. And like I said, it's not just because it's another Spider-Man figure, it's an exclusive, what have you. It's about what this figure personally symbolizes to me. And it brings me way back to my childhood. I can't say that enough. And that's why, I'm doing this with my daughter because, kind of passing the torch a little bit, but that's what this means a lot to me. I mean, if you want to see what my thoughts are on this, you can check out my review on it specifically. But I was waiting to film this specific top 5 video because I wanted to get this figure in and kind of see if it lived up to the expectations I set for it, and it has. I might be gushing a little bit too much over it, and that's perfectly fine. That's why this is my top 5, and I'm sure everyone has their own. But for me, to round out my 5 of figures of the year, I am going with the comic Spider-Man. Absolutely fun figure. It's fun. Fun is the #1 word. The accuracy police can come after me for, it's fun. I don't care what anyone says. It's fun to look at. It's fun to pose. It's fun to take photos with. And that is what ultimately matters to me when it comes to buying a figure. Is it fun and does it mean something to you? It's not just another figure to throw on the shelf for the sake of collecting. This is one that really does mean a lot to me, and I am so thankful that I have this in my collection. So, like I said, guys, this rounds out my 5, the comic Spider-Man. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel if this is in fact your first time. And let me know in the comments below what your top 5 are. And like I said, this is the first video in a series of 2023 in review. And I'll be dropping a video pretty much every day or every other day, kind of encapsulating 2023 with different topics that I have made videos for. So, like I said, let me know in the comments below what your top 5 are. And this is Mr. Mom Collectibles, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.